Hey everybody, it's Deb Brosnan. How are you? And today, I'm gonna wait a minute, let some people pop online. Whew, what a week, huh? I'm telling you. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about fear, and it never comes from where you think it's actually from, and how it impacts everything in your life, from money to your joy to your success. So, what in the world could possibly be blocking you from the joy that you truly, truly want in your life? Well, it's never really what you think it is. So, we're going to take a, a different approach to it today. Okay. So, if you had the idea that, let's say you wanted to win the lottery jackpot, for those of you that have lotteries in your states and in your countries, if you thought about winning the lottery jackpot, literally winning it for millions of dollars. Why haven't you done it already? You've thought about it. You've dreamed about it, how much easier your life would be with it, how much easier everything would be with all that money. So why haven't you won it yet? This is probably the easiest way for me to explain it is by going for something that's really huge. And if we break it down, let's take a step back. So you want to win 100 million pounds or $100 million or whatever your monetary amount is in your country. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to go play that ticket for that winning jackpot. All these small, interconnected memories come into play of all the times that you've played it, that you haven't won it yet. All the times that people have said it's impossible to win. I don't play. It's never going to happen for me. It's this, it's that. And you're like, yeah, but I know it's going to win. I know I'm going to win it someday. I know it. So you're thinking, I want to win that lottery jackpot. Now, there's a lottery jackpot in everybody's life that isn't called a lottery jackpot. It is the perfect job. It is the perfect man, the perfect woman. It is the perfect home. It is the perfect job, the perfect business. And at its core, that lottery jackpot happens to be that you are at your most un- unconscious, subconscious level. You believe something completely different. And it is fear of rejection. So, fear, no matter how minute it may be, can block something enormous. And until you've tipped the scales to the belief of being there for 51% of your energy, 60% of your energy, then you start to tip the tides and things start to flow in your direction. What happens when those things flow in your direction and you don't quite get to the end of it? You don't quite get to the edge. You don't quite get to the finish line, to the target, to the goal. So you get to the job interview. You did great. You got to the second interview, but you didn't get the job. And you ask for the feedback, and they may say the other person just had more experience, the other person just had this, the other person may have had that, the other person already works in the company. And part of you is thinking to yourself, well, then why did I waste my time going and doing this? And I want you to know that the fear of anything, from when you are a child, from when you are a teenager, from when you are an adult, something that has traumatized you on a level that is intense. It's intense, not because the event itself may be intense, but because the intent of it is while you were going through something and you were in great sorrow, you were in great sadness, you were in a state of great loss, you were in a state of great pain. And you said, I'm never going to feel this way again. I'm never going to have this because it was so painful. I can't have this pain in my life again. When we come from a fear base like that, when we come from a place where there is such a locked in feeling inside of ourselves, that's where you end up with it stopping and blocking that personal jackpot in life for you. Finding an amazing person, because I'm afraid. You may be afraid to ask them out on a date. You may be afraid to go out on a date with them. You may decide that they ask you out for Saturday, and between Tuesday and Saturday or Thursday and Saturday, all of a sudden you've worked yourself out of it and you have no interest in them before. Whereas before you were completely excited at the concept of having a date with this person. Your mind will do that to you. And it's based on a fear of rejection. That's what it's based on. I want to talk to you that the fear can be taken away permanently and quickly. That's part of what I do. That's what I do. I get to the root cause with people and I help them eliminate it. And you do it quickly and it's over, and you replace it with, always replace it with the better, the best, what you are truly looking for in life. And sometimes the exact opposite happens, where our fear of failure puts us, we do things, we take actions that literally put us in a state where we know we're not going to quote unquote win it. We're not going to overcome it, but it does reinforce the I'm not worthy. I knew this would happen. It always happens. It's blah, 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 whatever you want to stick a bow on. And the thing of it is that a lot of times when we choose things that are not in our best interests, our energy becomes so heavy because we're literally pushing against the universe. And the universe is like, I have a better perspective than you do, and this is not going to take you where you want to go. And you push against it and you push against it and you try and make it work. And it seems like everything starts to just turn to complete and utter crap on you everywhere that you go. You know, everything seems to be a door that's locked because our fear of ultimate success is blocking us, and our fear of ultimate failure is blocking us. And we do this dance, this in between, these polar opposites, where you have the ultimate success in your mind, you have the ultimate failure in your mind, and between the two of them, you're stuck spinning in a circle. There's no, you're not getting in either direction. And we believe that it is easier to fail at something than it is to succeed at something. So let's talk about the fear of success and where that can be rooted in. If you win that lottery jackpot for $100 million, are you going to have the same friends? They're not going to have $100 million. They're not going to be flying away with you. They can't necessarily leave at the drop of a dime to go and jump on your yacht and take a spin for 3 weeks, you know, wherever, because they have to go to their job. And your brain literally on a subconscious level says loss is equated with money. I will lose my family. I will lose my safety. I will lose my connection. I will lose this. I will lose that. How about illness? Illness is a really amazing way that empaths create. I know it sounds silly, but empaths create illness so abundantly, it's ridiculous. Because your body as an empath, as an intuitive, is so hypersensitive to other people's emotions. When you are not being conscious of what is best for you, what gives you this expansive feeling, this freedom, this feeling of freedom, this feeling of I don't have another word for it other than freedom. This lightness, this enjoyment, this absolute amazing piece of life. It's the reverse of that. It's you are allowing unconsciously, unknowingly, this worst case scenario to run in your head. Because honestly, we've been trained that the bad comes easier than the good, and that's not true. That is not true. I want you to take a moment and I want you to think about that. I'm not going to be a success. It's hard to be successful in business. It's hard to do this. It's hard to do that. I've got news for you. If it is your passion, if it is your joy, you will focus on it with such laser passion. Truth. It's not you guys. Or maybe it is. Ooh. Did you ever notice it when you're clearing energy? Or when other people around you are clearing energy and they're letting go of things, all of a sudden you yawn and it creates space. Funny thing, when I am creating something, when I'm creating money, literally, I yawn. I do it deliberately. I start to take deep breaths and I start to take deep breaths and I make myself yawn and yawn and yawn. When I feel compressed and I feel contracted in something, I know I'm not creating anything that I really do want in this life. So I start to take deep breaths. I start to make myself yawn and yawn and yawn and yawn. And you get the little tears going down the side of your eyes and you're like, oh my gosh. But that actually creates space, and the space creates money. And so if you're trying to break out of this feeling of it being terrible, of it being fearful, of it being whatever, first of all, there's a couple things I want you to do. I want you to take the deep breaths, okay? Acknowledge the action that you need to take, the action that is not pleasant, that may cause you tremendous fear to do it, whether it is leaving your family, whether it is leaving a job, whether it is this and that. But plot your course, you know, and go out and start to do interviews and start to put your resume out there and start to contact recruiters and start to learn the business acumen, start to understand better, go find yourself a coach and a mentor that is going to up-level you to at least where they are and has done it successfully, and you go out and do it. You know, it's one of those things that those are the action steps. So the first thing is that I want you to take the deep breaths. I know it sounds so remedial, but it's true. This is part of the step by step by step that I teach people. It's step by step by step. And in the creation of space, the yawning actually creates space. Now, as an empath, like I said, you're hypersensitive to things. So I could be on this right now and say something to somebody that is profound to them. And it changes things. And I can feel the energy, and it's not just the energy of this moment, it's the energy of what it's creating out. So this yawning, and I've had plenty of sleep, people. I have had plenty of sleep. So this yawning is the clearing of energy. And it clears it out and it creates space. So you also feel as this hypersensitive body that you have, which makes you the empath that you are. That is what it also will receive, is when people are clearing things, you'll yawn. So if you're in the middle of, you just had 12 hours of sleep and you feel great, and all of a sudden you're yawning like this, somebody's clearing space. It might be you, it might be somebody else. Somebody's creating space, and that space is to allow great things in. So step one, I want you to take the deep breaths. The next thing that I want you to do is I want you to be able to believe in yourself and know that it is not more difficult to do something. It is far more easy to do great things than it is to do difficult things. You've just been taught differently. You've been taught to do something in a way that doesn't work for you. It's kind of like if you lived in America, but your home was in Japan, you were learning English and you learned how to write English, and then you're supposed to go back to Japan, but you never took the time to learn how to speak Japanese or to write Japanese. You're going to be completely lost, and you're going to believe that it's hard. You're going to believe it's hard to speak Japanese and to write Japanese, you know, and to communicate and understand the culture. It's really not.